Songs about Monday. Most of them would imply there's not very many happy Mondays. Monday, Monday, can't trust that day. Every other day, every other day, every other day of the week is fine. Trying to get this, trying to get it. So, there you go. So I'm kind of in the center, but you know, you get to see all my clutter. Okay, so back to the kind of weird scenario, the weird setup. I've got my camera over there and my chat over there, so I'm gonna keep doing this. I guess I could try something new. What does it look like? I do this. Is that too weird? Is that too close? You getting too much of a good thing? It's like, um, so yeah, that's some really close. So it's probably a little close, and it's a little high, so that when I'm leaning, you're gonna get my big noggin. A little too much of my big noggin. Hmm. Don't just tell you, man. It's like it's only really getting. Am I zooming? I could be zooming too. Let's just see. Nope. It's just too close. It's too close for my liking. I don't want it that close. We can try it back in its classic spot right here. That's gonna have to do. So I will just have to look up, and you'll just have to watch me look away. Watch me. Every time I turn that way, you know I'm looking at you, looking at what you got to say. All right, so this is the beholder. I have no idea what color to color this beholder. I am truly unsure. Completely and totally uh, mystified by the idea of painting a beholder. I've seen them brown, I've seen them red, I've seen them every color. I've seen people paint them in happy color rainbows. I've seen pink ones. Every kind of beholder ever created has been painted. So, what does that mean to me? That means I have no idea what to do. Um, it means I have no idea what to do. I mean, really, I'm stumped. I'm stumped, and I haven't even started. I do want to know. I do know one thing. I want to cover the entire base. So the question is, do I do that with like a concrete or a rock, or do I just throw down dirt stuff? Um, do I want? I mean, what does it look like that base is? I mean, the base that it is right now just looks like what? Dirt mounds of dirt, sand. Maybe he's a desert beholder. Why not? I mean, you could have any kind of you can have a beholder from everywhere, right? Anywhere. There's like no limit to where a beholder can be from. Um, um, I'm visualizing a desert beholder. You know, maybe give him a dark brown under, and then go over him in lighter color. Um, yeah, I mean, I could try it. Don't come out and paint a different one. like I can bail on that idea and go with something totally different. And now for something completely different. Um, I'm thinking like I can cover the whole thing in like a desert sand like this. Uh, that's what I'm leaning towards actually. Something just totally desertish. Why not? But in order to do that, I need to put a coat of something down. Could be this, could be something more rocky, uh, just something like it. So let's do that. Let's just slap some stuff down. I'm gonna go with a desert themed beholder. Why not? They don't all have to be from the dungeons, do they? What? Whoever said that beholders had to be from the dungeon? I was gonna paint this jack-o'-lantern guy, but this beholder's on my list, and I just decided let's start him. Let's start him up. I'm gonna start slopping some ground texture down. I'm not gonna be too concerned. I'm actually okay with the whole. I'm actually gonna put it both on the base he's got because I wanna throw this rock chunk down. Um, and we're just gonna make a mess of the base here. No reason to be anything too nice because I'm just gonna slop it on. I'm gonna try to keep at least a little bit of the ripples here, so I'm gonna rub it on the base here so that it gets some of those ripples because I don't want it, I don't want it to be smooth. I want it to be sand, like it's a mountain, just like wavy sand, wavy, bumpy, crazy mounds of dirt, sand everywhere. Kind of like the kind of thing you might see coming out of a dust cloud. It's like you're looking. You know how in the movies, whenever they have those giant dust storms, there's always like some kind of creature in there, like big mouth. That's what this guy is. You'd be big old dust storm out in the desert, starts coming at you, and this guy pops out of the storm. This is like giant desert beholder. I'm putting this stuff on pretty generous because I want it to be enough that I can put the sand on. And we will try to make it kind of swirly out here too. Almost like waves of grain. Isn't it the our national anthem here? If you're here, something about waves of grain. I don't know. It's not the national anthem, but it's America, America, a country 'tis of thee. Something like that. All right. Now, in order for this to be useful as a desert, we got to put the sand on before it dries so that it can harden up and be friendly homemade sand partners. Some would say, why are you doing the base first? Well, I'll tell you why. Because that's what I thought of doing first. The base doesn't have to be an interference. I mean, as long as you're careful. Oops, throw grass down. He went from a grass beholder to From a desert beholder to a grass beholder, and one quick mistake. So the best way to do this and not spill sand everywhere would be to use something that I can put him into. Kind of like a bath. We're going to give him a dust bath. We're just going to go like this. Yeah, get off. Jeez. I did not want to let go. Where did that connect? Sometimes these earth magnets are stubborn. All right, so we're gonna. If I can get my desert sand to open up. A little grindy. Apparently, I got it in the grooves. That's not terribly great. We're just gonna pour me a boatload of desert sand on top of this guy. Then it's all right. I'm gonna fix the camera a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So here he is. All right, so the best way to try to do this is something flat. How about another mini? A mini with something on his base. Do I have a mini with something on his base? You know. So I'll just kind of. I could probably do this with my fingers, to be honest. Because ultimately, it's going to be all about just pressing down a little bit. I just want to press down enough that this stuff kind of sinks into the stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and I will obviously paint it. I'll probably put a desert look, maybe some yellowish tan colors or something, and any gunk that kind of squeezes through is just going to be colored. Hopefully there we go. So I've got my desert sand in place while I start working on the next part of him, I guess. Try not to touch that too much. That would be in my best interest because it's going to be soft, but that's all right. If I don't touch it, it should be all right. So we're going to make a desert beholder, one that is coming upon you straight from the desert. And coming to you live from the Sahara Desert, King Killer Desert Beholder. And all the demons said, "Beholder, beholder, yahoo." Alright. Oops, look, I'm already handling it. What am I doing? I said, don't touch it, Ken. What did I just tell you? Don't touch it. Don't touch it, Ken. That's why I should probably just go to bed. I just said it. I said, Ken, don't touch the beholder. But I don't understand. I don't understand your English. Your English is weird, Ken. You speak, I don't know, funny language. And then you start telling me that I can't touch stuff. I don't understand you. It's like, man. Now you're gonna make me have to touch it up in a way that's kind of a pain in the rear. And now we gotta put more beholder junk down. More sand. Stop touching things you're not supposed to touch. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. When I say don't touch the base, I mean I don't touch the base. So you want to touch his head. His head would be okay to touch, but not his base. You're making us go through all this stuff over and over again when you just don't listen. I'm sorry. I'm so very sorry. Alright, I know. I'm being goofy, but can't help it. Goofiness is my middle name. That's Ken Goofiness Romero. Alright. He's fixed. Well, mostly. If I don't touch him again, he's fixed. Now there is the small problem that it's kind of overlapping the don't really want him overlapping the base because I want the base to still be able to be a base. Okay. Alright, no more touching. No more touching the base. You got it? No more. Okay. Why was there a hair in there? Not even my hair. I don't even know what the heck that is. What kind of hair is that? It's like a cat hair or something. No, I'm kind of being kind of nitpicky here. Alright, so when that gets hard, when it finally gets hard, it's gonna get all that sand in there and everything will be happy camper. Happy camper. What time is it already? Am I already late? Am I already running past my bedtime? No. I got 10 minutes. 10 minutes is all I have to try and get somewhere with this guy. Let's get a beta, a base. A coat of base paint on him. If I'm gonna go desert, I'm thinking I want to go with a desertly look, but that means I'm gonna go with I'm gonna do a brown, dark brown to start, and then I'm gonna give him some deserty highlights and colors and shades and maybe some grays and other kind of things. But for now, we're gonna go with some brown. So what that means is I got to get my Frosthaven dudes out of the way because they are taking up a lot of space at the moment. I need to finish them. I've been doing Frosthaven. I played today. I played yesterday. And I played today, but I didn't do a scenario today. I'm gonna try to get another scenario in soon, in the next couple of days. But oh my gosh. Got a couple guys in here that don't really belong in this case, but I don't have a home for them yet. Okay, at least everybody's got a home now. Go into your home! Don't you want to go into your home? Alright, yeah, these guys are just going to have to sit off to the side. Back into the pile of things that need to be worked on. Get my paint palette uncovered up by various miniatures. See if I can get 10 minutes of painting in, which isn't much in the grand scheme of things. Whoops, sorry, bumped the camera. That's what I get when the camera's only 2 inches off my thing here. That's what it feels like anyway. That's actually not very far. Let's see if I can adjust this just a tad. There we go. Alright, if I can do this without whacking my head on the camera, that would be good. I am going to go with something kind of dark to start. Like, do I want to go with a deep, like a mahogany brown kind of thing? Or do I want to go with a... I mean, that is a pretty dark color. It's very brown. There is also less brown. There's like chestnut brown, which if you really look at it, isn't a lot different from the mahogany if you look at the top. The top would imply they're pretty close to the same thing, but the bottles imply that the mahogany is a fair touch darker. Now, I like both of these paints. These are both good colors. I think I'm going to do the chestnut. I think the chestnut would be less dark. Less too much. So you say, well, if you're using chestnut, why are you getting out the mahogany? Well, because I want to get a better paint on the lid. You know me and my lid painting. I'm always lid painting to try to get a better feel. I must have wiped it off, or I don't know. For some reason, I only painted the little center spot. I don't know what I was thinking at the time. It's just what I did. By the way, need more of it. Okay, so there you go. That is darker. They're darker than chestnut, so we will... I like the, who was it? I don't know, you need like 1,000 of them, but some people get these little, like, the little heads, skeleton heads, or what do you call it, the space marine heads, just whatever. They get a bunch of them, and they just put them on the top of all their bottles, and then they paint that with the color. I think that's a really cool idea. Get a real feel for what the paint does, you know, that way. I don't know how you would even, how would that work? You'd want to primer them, right? So that the paint would stick. So you get a bunch of the heads, you lay them out all on a big pan that's covered with something, primer them all, kind of shake them up a little bit, and primer them all on the other sides, and then then you have to glue them onto the top. I would need probably 500 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 3. All right, about 250 of them. Maybe 270 of them would probably be enough. But I keep buying paint, so I probably need to make about 300 to 500 of these heads. Where can you get a bunch of heads like that? Skeleton heads, space marine heads, you know, little things like you just glue on the top of bottles. I think that'd be cool. I'm so easily amused. So easily amused by the little things that might be out there. Creative things that people have done. And I think it's a better perception than just this little color. I mean, yeah, this color tells you something, but it really isn't as good. As having a nice, you know, a full, to see what it looks like on an actual character. I think that's really a neat idea. Now, how practical is it? I don't know. Where did I put my, now I've got that kind of covered up. See, it is lighter, not much, but it is lighter. Now I do have my intense brown, which is a step in a different direction. This is rust brown, which, by the way, geez, is that even the right lid on there? Well, I think it's primered, but it's not. Rust brown's one of my favorite colors. It's red, though. I don't know that red would be, it's kind of a reddish brown. I don't know if that would be, that'd be interesting, huh? A reddish brown, I don't know. I don't know if that's if that's the right answer for this guy. See, it's a very red color, but it's got that brownish hue to it. I'll show you what this is. This is a good color for a lot of reasons, a lot of things, but not necessarily a desert beholder. Okay. It is interesting, though. I'm tempted. Nah, I don't think that's gonna have the right. It's about what comes out underneath, right? Because it's not going to be the primary color. It's just going to be an underlying base where I'm going to put all my highlights, my grays, my other lighter tans on top of it. Now the question is, do I want that to have a reddish hue under it? I'm tempted. I'm trying to think of doing something different. This is why I'm not actually looking online at other beholders. I mean, I've seen a lot of different beholders. I'm trying to think of one of how I want to do this one. That's different from other beholders. Hopefully still cool when all said is done. But okay, so this is intense brown. What is intense brown versus, say, my chestnut brown? You know what? The intense brown. I think that's the one I want. Just a little bit lighter. I'm leaning towards intense brown versus the rust brown. Maybe I do both. Just a little browner, but with a tiny bit of red hue. That would be interesting. I think I might do that. I think I'm gonna mix rust brown. I'm gonna do a rust brown, intense brown mix-up, mash-up. Now, question is, will I ever remember how I did that? Let's go ahead and put this guy in here. D&D Monsters. We'll go. I'll add him. We're gonna say desert beholder. And then we're gonna click on him. And then I'm gonna go to my palette, and I'm gonna say I'm doing these two guys. Actually, you know, is there a way to do a? Let's see. My mixes. How do you do that? I guess those are mixes already made. How do I do it? Compose custom. Scan barcode. Okay. rust brown, and this one might not even scan because it's a pretty bad barcode. Oh, I got it. What do you know? What do you know, man? We're going to call it a 50-50 mix. We'll call it Intense Rust Brown. Intense Rust Brown. Homemade mix, Intense Rust Brown. 50-50. So it's one speck of each. And since I don't know where I put the rust brown over there, I'm just going to put the one speck right into the one I put already for rust brown. Flip. Here we go. Intense rust brown for the win. Probably not even enough. Oh, that's probably not near enough. I'm going to need more than that. That's like not even close. What was I thinking? What time is it? Oh, it's 9:30. I gotta at least slop it on a little bit, see what it looks like. So that means I'm going to bed later than I wanted to. Here we go. Come on. Hurry up, Intense Brown. Let's get my bones a moving here. 1, 2. Alright, so, oops. Now, we got plenty. I'll get out my little mixer thing. Hopefully I won't get it caught where it's not supposed to be. Mix it up. Alright, there we go. Get the extra paint off, just get it started. We'll just rub it off on the beholder's head. Rub his head for luck. Okay, let's get this on. You know what? This is a base coat. I'm going to pull out my sloppy old, no good, good for base coating sloppy brush. Just scoop up a bunch of that junk. Just fill my brush up and load him up. It's going to be a lot of fun part's going to be figuring out how to paint eyes, because you got to paint lots and lots of eyes. And I am not an eyes guy. I don't know anybody who's an eyes guy, but these are like real eyes. These are eyes that are going to have to be like, yeah, you got to put effort into these eyes because they're all big eyes. Even the little ones are big. So that's like, oh no. I got to paint eyes and I got to do a good job. That's not fun. So that's going to be great. No, paint's sticking pretty good. I don't know that I actually primed this guy, but he's got a pretty hefty amount of prime on him. Actually, I'm not sure that this guy's I'm not sure this guy's a Reaper guy. He's got very obvious primer, so I think he might be a WizKids guy. Yeah, this is very much, I think, a WizKids guy. Thought he was a Reaper one, but Reaper ones don't look like this. Now, of course, I'm sure Reaper has a beholder because everybody makes beholder. There's one thing you can count every miniatures company's going to make. It's going to be a beholder. They're just going to do it. Because everybody's got it. This is a staple. He's a fantasy miniature staple. Not everybody meets one. I don't think I've ever fought one other than on a video game. I fought one back in the old Polar Radiance series. That was pretty interesting. They suck. They're pretty strong. They sucked. I actually played through that game a couple of times. I just remember it being a really fun game. I've always hoped that they would remake that in a modern form. Of course, they'd probably have to put all the full series in one game anymore, because the series wasn't that terribly big. I mean, you could transfer your characters to each one, but I mean, each one was kind of short. You only got to like level 6 and then 12, and then I think you only made it to, I think, maybe 19 by the time it was over. And that was back when characters can go to 30. 30 was a D&D. I mean, they built the game around D&D, right? So, and yeah, it was a fun game. I really liked that one. Oh, here I am, smacking the camera. Sorry, I'm going to give you motion sickness. I'm just painting his whole being with this for now. I'll go over it later, because all these colors, the horns, the teeth, I'm not going to really paint the teeth, though. I mean, I might get some on the teeth, but it'll be it still looks really red when you think about it, this stuff. It's for a color that's only 50-50 rust brown. The rest of it is intense brown, which is just brown, really. It's about your regularist, most normalist brown out there. I'm getting some on the eyes, I know. Try not to get too much on the eyes, but I'd like to cover the entire guy. That's important. Don't touch the base, Ken. Don't touch the base. Just getting this base coat down. I'm thinning it out quite a bit. I'm trying to get a good base coat that covers everything, but I'm not terribly concerned about coverage to the point where it's got to be perfect, because this is just like what's going to be underneath everything else. I don't even think there may not even be a lot of this showing, but it'll be like the under highlight. So weird, because his entire... I mean, I'm not used to figures where you can get totally inside their mouth. It's just... definitely an unusual thing, for sure. Most figures, the mouth is like tiny and you can barely even see the teeth, much less paint them. Much less paint every individual tooth and get the tooth and get your brush in between everything. Definitely gonna have to do some significant shading here. Just want all of him to be covered in this. All of his, anything that I really want to be based in the same color that I consider to be his skin form, you know. And we'll go from there. What am I missing? I'm pretty sure I've got to be missing something. These little spiky things down here. By going over this, it's kind of with water, just really helps keep the paint from getting too thick in any one spot. I don't like thick. Thick is bad. Thick is brush strokes and other crap that you don't want to see. I don't like the brush strokes. The brush strokes are bad. They make things look terrible. Now, granted, if you get it too thin, you end up having to brush paint over it anyway because it just gets watered, but sometimes it's better to make sure you get a second coat on than it is to worry about that. Thin coats better than thick coats most of the time. Yeah, I didn't realize I totally missed that arm. Alright. Well, geez, there's another arm I totally missed. How did I miss that one? I mean, that was totally missed. It's like I didn't even look like it's like I didn't even know that arm was there until now. Like it jumped on there and grew out of his head while I was painting. Like, where did that one come from? It's like, dude, I thought I had them all painted, and then I'm like, that one's not even touched. Somehow I managed to totally skip over that one. Got a couple other arms here that are just missing one side. And I was definitely right about needing lots and lots of this paint combo. This custom paint color. Well, as far as it goes. Getting the eyes covered up, I know. It's never good, but just need to get this on everything. Sometimes that means getting it where you don't want it. It's alright, I'll figure it out. If I need that to be white, I'll make it white. I'll figure it out. Probably do need them to be white, right? I mean, I guess eyes don't have to be fully white. You could do something weird with them, like give them cat eyes. What does a desert beholder's eyes look like anyway? And I don't want to hear anybody saying nonsense like, oh, there's no such thing as a desert beholder. Because there's no such thing as any monster. They all exist in somebody's head. And I'm pretty sure somebody's done a desert beholder. Trust me, it exists. Some psycho's already done it. There's nothing new upon the earth, so said Solomon. And Solomon was how many hundreds of years ago? Thousands of years ago? If Solomon thought there was nothing new, what do you think nowadays? He's probably be like, well, I guess I was wrong. There were a few things new still to be thought, but ultimately, it's not even about thinking thoughts, right? Thinking of new things. It's a lot about actually doing something with it, with those thoughts. Well, I feel like I got all of his arms. At the moment, I'm not seeing any white on them. Yeah, actually, there's a couple of tiny little spots that have snuck through the cracks, but overall, I'm probably gonna have to go back over some of these edges here. All right, well, we got a base coat down of Mr. Desert Beholder. You don't look too bad. Not too bad for a base coated dude. Do I think? I don't mind him. Don't mind so far. But we got a lot to do. Lot to do. This guy's not even close. But he at least looks like something's happening, right? He's on his way to San Jose. Because there's deserts in San Jose. Right? Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't give myself 45 minutes on this guy, so I got to create a thing, stop a thing, set a thing to 45 minutes. And we'll take a photo of Mr. Desert Beholder. I didn't take a starter photo of him. I think I might have one though. Maybe I can clip one or something. Put it on there. All right, let's see here. So if I go over to my photos and I go here, and then oops, what the heck? Where am I? Okay, so I got a photos here of Desert Beholder. Let's go right there. And then we're going to edit. And we're going to crop. And we're going to make that little guy right there, the one I want. That's good. Oops. We'll say save as copy. And then we're going to go here. Take a photo of Mr. Desert Beholder. Go there. Then we're going to go edit. Oops, wrong one. Edit. Different image editor apparently. I'm going to say save. Then we're going to go back to here. Go back to here and then go to here. And go to photos and we will add I don't know where that one went. One of them's right here. Where the heck did the other one go? Alright, we're going to browse. I don't know where that one went. We want this one. And we want that one. And then we're done. There we go. We got the beholder in his beginning state and the beholder in. Hey, valves! Valve, by the way. Valve B2 weak. Valve. Val. Valvez? Valvez by two worlds. I don't know. I always gotta look and try to figure out what the between. Anyway, hey man, how's it going? You caught me kind of as I'm wrapping up a little bit today, but just kind of working on a beholder. I was only going to do a quick 30 minutes. I ended up doing 45. Just gonna make I decided on making a desert beholder. I'm gonna make one. So I based him, put some sand there. I'll fix that up. Put some, I don't know, something on it. Maybe some desert rocks and other crap. I got some cool rocks over here I can throw on there later. But I threw a quick base coat on of rust brown with brown. That's actually a good idea. I'm gonna do that right now. I like the idea of throwing in some big rocks. Good idea, me. Glad you thought of it. I gotta throw them in there though before. I may end up having to glue them in later, but. Yeah, those aren't gonna stick. We're gonna need some glue later when everything dries. Yeah, well, they're not glued on, but later on I'll put those on and so they glue a little bit better in there. But yep, there's the start of my desert beholder. Day 1, 45 minutes in. That's all I got done. That's how it works for me, man. I'm not a fast painter. You're not going to see me get too many guys cranked out in an hour. It's crazy for me to even try. I've tried a few times, but yeah. This guy's probably going to take me 5 hours, 6 hours. He doesn't look like he has a lot going on. See, eyeball's going to take a little while. That's for sure. But anyway, sorry, Valvez. Didn't not enough time to stick around and chat. But time for me to hit the hay. Got to get up early and do my workout. Don't know what I'm doing yet. If it's just cardio, I won't be streaming. If it isn't just cardio, I might stream. If I go to the gym, I won't be streaming. Probably, maybe, probably. Who knows? I'm always iffy about my streaming when I work out. But until then, you take it easy.